Hey, Jules Bliss Vegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. So I wanted to talk about milk. And I know, oh geez, I really want to give you a super easy 20-second recipe for plant-based milk alternative to cow's milk. But I still need to inform some people about the nightmare of milk produced by cows. Not only the abuse on the cows, which I'm not going to totally go into, but mostly how it affects humans and how tragic it is. And I found a fantastic, super quick, less than 2-minute video. I don't know if you're familiar. The guy's name is Marcus, and his wife, I think, is Cara, C-A-R-A. And they're both social media personalities that are totally out there. They actually have a brand, let me see, it's called The Healthy Life. So it's actually called The Healthy Life. I'm going to attach the video in the description. And you can certainly find them on Instagram and definitely on YouTube. And Marcus is very informed. He is so serious about everything to do with being vegan and healthiness. And Cara, I hope I'm saying her name right, she's like 49. I think he's about 54. They both look amazing. And she loves to do just unbelievable desserts, and all vegan is all vegan. So I don't know what your eating plan is. A lot of it I would not participate in right now. I'm trying to get the weight off, but you can definitely check them out under The Healthy Life. Okay, so I was listening to this very quick, again, it's only less than 3 minutes, just shy of 3 minutes video that Marcus produced on making a quick plant-based milk. But he, of course, had to say some of the facts. So his reference was for a Harvard study, and the Harvard study followed 72,000 people for 12 years to see what the different ailments were and how they were affected by milk and why milk just is no good for our body. And it totally indicated that countries in the world that consume the most milk have the most osteoporosis, which of course is the ability to very easily break your bones, because unfortunately the calcium in the bones is being sucked out of the bones. People always say, right, milk does a body good, and they got their little mustache, and hey moms, you want to get calcium in your kids, give them milk. There is no actual proof of that. So it says that when you drink milk, 1/2 of the protein actually comes from the cow milk, but the other half is left in the body to cause total problems and major diseases. And like I said, things like bone fractures, heart attacks, stroke. And then when they actually do autopsies on people, he'll show you that like white milk type substance comes out of the bones, which is actually calcium plaque, and that is what is blocking the arteries and all of the struggles that we're having regarding milk. So the first one, some of the top major diseases that they found: osteoporosis, heart disease, breast cancer, colon cancer, allergies, asthma, lung problems, sinus issues, diabetes, multiple sclerosis, and that's just to name a few. See if she stops on her own before Mama has to say anything. All right, so then it says that the major clogging of arteries is from cheese and dairy, and that, of course, the bottom line is that cows and horses and all grazing animals get their calcium from leafy greens, which is where we're supposed to be getting ours. So the reason that I even brought this up is because as a child, I couldn't drink milk. And I am of Jewish descent, and a lot of people with a Jewish lineage cannot do milk. And to be fair, nobody should be doing milk at all. But when they say that I'm lactose intolerant, all humans are, but some are in particular, and that would be people of Jewish descent. So I could never just drink milk, but somehow with the magic of sugar and all of the other artificial additives, I could do ice cream. I could keep ice cream down. It didn't really make me sick to my stomach. And so many times in my life, it's been mind over stomach. I've been just so determined mentally to consume something that my stomach didn't have a chance of complaining because I wasn't going to let it. And later, when I was getting healthier, frozen yogurt was the big deal, right? Tons of frozen yogurt. It's so much better than ice cream. Not. Loving cheese, like just on everything. Oh my gosh, a cheese quesadilla, I'm your girl. I mean, that was just like, oh, guy, macaroni and cheese, hello. Like all cheeses, I'm good. Not anymore, of course not. I'm definitely on my way to wellness, but I didn't know how I could give up cheese. In fact, I went from cow to what I thought might be a little healthier, goat cheese. That's a no, but I did it. And finally, by grace, I do not participate in it anymore, and that's because I'm vegan, right? So, but people will say, well, but our goat lives in the backyard and we treat it really fair, so why can't you have some of that goat cheese? Okay, in that circumstance where their goat has actually signed a pledge saying I love my family and want them to squeeze my teats and make cheese for me, then it comes to my health, and then I just say, well, I'm also whole food plant-based, and I just do not do that. I don't do any dairy. Fair enough, right? All right, so that whole idea, the disgusting notion that there could be cow pus in milk, and why is that even a truth? And does anyone have any proof? Well, that's the second article that I am going to attach to this video, just in case you have to tell your friends or convince yourself, because I told you, when I'm feeling weak or vulnerable, the first thing I say is, well, I mean, it's not going to kill the chickens. We could have some eggs. Well, I mean, the milk isn't that bad because, the cows aren't dead. All right. So when I have to say, oh, yeah, there's cow pus in there, I can't even stand the word pus. Okay, let alone the reality. Okay, so this is a second article on proof of why that's true. And one thing, even though this is referencing the UK, but the UK has stronger boundaries than the United States, for sure. And what it says, as part of the Milk Producers Food Standards Agency, it says, food operators must initiate procedures to ensure that raw milk meets the following criteria. 1, for raw cow's milk, the plate count, meaning the platelet count, the blood platelet count, is, actually, I don't even know, maybe this is saying heat, because it says 30 Celsius per million. Who knows, maybe that's how much they have to heat it to keep the poisons away. But then it says what's permittable is the somatic cell count per million. They're allowed to have 40,000 per million. Well, what is the somatic cell count? Who cares, right? Well, not exactly, because somatic cell count is simply defined as a living cell, and somatic cells come from the pus that forms when infections such as mastitis, the poor infected nipples, right, occur, and are purely from damage to the udders. The majority of somatic cells are actually leukocytes, which are white blood cells. I know. So unfortunately, as sad as it is, when they are getting the milk from the mom, infected or not, they just pump in antibiotics and take in all of it, including the infection and pus. I don't know, maybe they're hoping that pasteurizing it, which is heating it, will kill that as well. I don't know, but whatever the problem is, we don't need it. We don't even need it, which is the beauty of that first one I told you about, 20 seconds to making your own milk. And Marcus is very smart. All he did was take literally a cup of hemp seeds and a cup and a half of milk and blended it. Ta-da! For me, when I was still eating cereal and could not consume milk, I would use cold water, and I loved it because it allowed me to actually taste the cereal and not what for me was just cookie, creamy, ucky milk. Anyway, it's very interesting. How am I doing? I'm glad you asked. I'm doing all right. I was really proud of myself today because we went out to a restaurant, and it's this one restaurant that always, if it doesn't tempt me initially, and it often does, then it makes me pout. I'll literally be pouting over what I didn't choose to eat. And I've even been stubborn enough to say, screw it, I'm not even going to eat. And my husband's like, Julie, there's a ton of salad here. There's a bunch of vegetables on your plate. Well, I don't care, because if I can't have, the fried stuff, and if I can't have, let's say beans and rice, which people could have, plant-based, right? Then I'm not going to have it. And he's like, wow. Well, today was pure joy. I walked in, and all I could see were the beautiful vegetables. All I could see was the plentiful salad. All I could see was the beautiful vinegar. And I made a lovely dinner and was completely satisfied. And sometimes I'll even go back. They had fresh fruit too, which I chose to have some. Sometimes I'll go back for even more. Like, I want to feel full. And I had no desire for that. I was thinking, cool, when I get home, I can consider myself done eating for the day, and I could have tea. And I'm totally digging this licorice spice tea. But tonight, I am going to have orange. There's some really fun orange spice something or another I'm going to try. But I was so grateful. I was so grateful. So anyway, how's Luna? She's okay. She's okay. She's not potting enough as far as I'm concerned, but she's hydrated. She's feisty. Her poor little belly is still all wrinkled from, deflating, if you will. But she's coming around. Anyway, thanks so much for checking in, my friends. Like if you like, join us if you haven't. And until we talk again, know that you're blessed.